live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
And this is episode 94. I gotta pull up my trusty IMDb.com.
Yeah, .com. Yeah, because .com. The darkest minds.
The darkest minds. Imprisoned by an adult world that now fears everyone under 18, a group of teens form a resistant group to fight back and reclaim control of their future.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah, you do?
My first thing.
Hunger Games light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like certain points. And I really hated some certain points, and I really wished it was a lot shorter, and I really wish they wrote it differently.
I do wish,
but
I wish
the young girl,
shorter.
young Ruby was beautiful, and I thought that the young Ruby was perfectly casted, the little girl.
Yeah,
and I liked Ruby as I liked her. She was awesome.
No, she was awesome. I have to say, I liked the character of Ruby, and I liked her, and there was a great deal of chemistry between her and her lead.
Yep.
However, I am so tired of the incredibly quick and contrived method of, you know what? All I have to do is say this. As far as how contrived the beginning of the story was, that we weren't into the story 7 minutes before all the children that were left in the world were divided into different colored groups.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Now just stop for a moment and think, at what point in life would anything like that actually happen? No. And the thing is there is no complexity to it. There is, it's an ill-defined blah, 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 or something. And we divided things. And this is the same problem that I have with The Purge. It's too simplistic of a way to get into a concept. It doesn't ring true. The thing with this one is that there was something very Hunger Games-ish about it, and to a certain extent, it had exactly the same qualities that Hunger Games had in terms of, it was just the cast going through this.
Little Maze Hunter too.
Yeah. But the thing is I think it took a while of getting through the stupid simplicity. That set it up in the beginning.
Even some of the romantic scenes were a little like crowbarred in.
Right, yeah. But I'm saying the thing is when I see that kind of a simple moron setup, it spoils it for me for a good 20-25 minutes because I'm like, well, I just don't believe any of this,
Well, I guess I kind of got into it more. I like how you didn't know who to trust, and you had all these different groups, and you had to, I like that aspect of it. I like the action. Some of the action was great,
right? And
I like some of the special effects they did with the moving
Are these the
stuff.
same reasons that I don't trust you?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what color I am.
Yeah.
It's,
well,
I'm not a green. I'm definitely not a green.
I don't know what color you're going to be.
I'm not a red. I'm not a green.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. I'm certainly not. I'm not an orange.
I wish I was.
And I don't think that I'm a red until, well, maybe after Mexican food. Maybe after a lot of Mexican food.
Your hair's kind of frizzy, so you might be a blue.
It might be a blue. Huh? Okay, yeah. well, thank you.
You're a very electric personality.
Thank you very much.
So I liked all the cast except for one person. Can you guess who that was? Actually, two. There's one that I really didn't like, but one I kind of didn't like. Just the casting and the way
casting.
The Kirk Cameron guy. The
guy.
Yeah,
no, he was terrible. No, you're right. The thing is the casting didn't show any depth at all.
What was it called? The slipper?
Yeah,
the slipper.
Slider. Was it slider?
The slippers, the slider,
something
whatever.
like that. Yeah. No, the casting didn't have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And Amy, no,
Jane,
Adam,
Crazy Jane, whatever her name was. I didn't like her either.
All right, it was terrible. No, it's like beyond the main characters. It kind of reminded me.
The main characters were great, and Mandy Moore kind of was just kind of Mandy Moore. She wasn't really that. I guess just her character wasn't that special. So.
Yeah, neither one of those characters was very special. And the thing is the contrivance. There was another contrivance of the multi levels of bad guys within a situation that has originally just divided children into their colors. Very strange. And by the way, when they're at the motel, right? How did they get a room in the motel?
I was thinking that too.
I mean, so if you're a kid, all the kids that survived are weird and magical.
Maybe they'd use mind control to get the room or something.
And by the way, was this not all just? I thought to myself that this was all a parable about the anti-gay camps, right? The we're going to turn you straight camps.
I guess it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. I kept thinking about it like that. It was like, okay, we're going to put you in this room and
when they first showed the camp with all the kids coming in, the first thing I think of is Donald Trump. But I mean, that's where my brain went. I don't know why.
I do.
You can't see your parents again. Let me think.
Where could we?
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on there.
Yeah, that would take intent. I'm not sure that we have a lot of intent going on lately. So anyway, we're not going to get political because if we get political,
we're not a political show.
We're not a political show.
But we have opinions.
Yeah.
I think people know what they are.
Yeah, I think they do.
I really wanted to like this more, and I actually liked certain parts. I was into it for like 5 minutes, and then I just was taken out of it because it got really stupid for.
It got way stupid,
and then it got back interesting
towards
again.
the end,
and then it got stupid again.
Yeah, I had a tendency to do that.
But you know what I mean? Like if they kind of cleaned it up a little bit and made it tighter, and maybe cast a different bad guy.
What reminded me of the Maze movies. What were the ones recently?
Maze Runner. Yeah.
Maze Runner. It reminded me of Maze Runner in terms of, and Hunger Games to a certain extent, because this doesn't finish anything. It just barely starts it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did like the kind of thing at the end, though, where where she did that thing. And that thing got went over there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That little thing where she did the thing to the guy.
Oh.
And I thought that was kind of a cool twist. It was kind of.
Is.
I mean, that was a nice way to go into the next episode.
It was heartbreaking, though.
It's like a TV show. This should have been a TV show.
Heartbreaking.
Yes.
Should have been a TV show?
Like, this could be a TV show, I think. And they could have explained the beginning a little bit more.
You're right.
I'd probably be more into it.
Well,
and if Dennis Hopper was still alive, Dennis Hopper I would cast him as one of the bad guys.
Yeah, the bad guys didn't
because he's kind of one of those guys he'd be in a movie like this.
Right,
I think
he would be in a movie like this. No, you're absolutely right. They were lacking a certain.
They needed some power on the bad side.
I was going to say vicissitude.
Yeah, charisma, something.
Well, Brad,
good acting.
If you're going to say that the president was the head of the bad guys, I guess, in a way, Bradley Whitford.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, look at our current president. Okay, we weren't going to get political, but
yeah, what the hell?
He is kind of the head of the bad guys, according to some people. I don't know what side I'm on. I'm trying to.
You know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Because
I don't know what side I'm in the middle.
If I open my mouth, it tends to just stay open.
Well, see, I tried to keep my mouth closed, but
exactly.
But so who knows? Who knows where I am? I could be on the right, on the left, in the middle. I don't know. Underneath, on top.
No.
Anyway,
I don't believe you either.
So I want to know about this Ruby girl. Who's the girl that played that character?
Yeah, what has she done before?
Was it Amanda?
Click.
Amanda Stenberg.
Stenberg? Yeah, she was good.
Wow.
What has she done before?
I knew she had to be mixed. I knew that.
Mixed what?
African American and Danish.
Oh, right. Yeah. There you go.
So she's done Family Guy.
Really?
Well, she was in one episode
Okay.
as a voice for. I don't really recognize anything here except for Sleepy Hollow,
Sleepy
the
Hollow?
TV series.
Oh, there you go.
Hunger Games. Oh my gosh. So she was in Hunger Games.
Well, there you go. Oh, Columbiana is a great film.
I haven't seen
Have
that.
you seen that?
No, but I've heard it's good.
It is really good. It is absolutely a rush.
Oh well, I thought I
Starts
forgot what
going.
character it was. But anyway, I'm gonna actually close these windows here. 'cause
We're doing
I'm
an incredibly.
opening stuff.
You realize that we're doing a show of you and I just staring at the IMDb page. As
I know,
it
it's
goes
great, isn't it?
And making content. No, it's not. It's terrible.
Everybody,
This is just
pull up
terrible.
your IMDb. Okay, now search
Wow.
for this, and
This
we should do
really
that.
sucks.
We should do that sometime. Just like
No, we shouldn't do that.
6 degrees to Mick Strawn on IMDb. We could say, okay, we're gonna pull a name out of a hat. Here's the actor. How does it connect? It will figure it out by IMDb. Only 7 clicks.
That's seven clicks.
Anyway,
Yeah. No.
So, how'd you feel about the production design and the
Terrible.
special effects?
I kind of like the
I
village.
like some of the effects.
I like the village a little bit. Didn't believe the effects at all in general. They really obviously borrowed the helicopters from
Right.
from either the Hunger Games or that other one that I was just talking about,
Yeah, the Maze Runner.
the Maze Runner.
Yeah. Well, what's up with that effect that people are using now, to where the things are disappearing?
Oh yeah,
I think it looks dumb personally, but
It does. It looks really stupid. Yeah, it's with the whole Misty thing.
so some of these characters might show up in the next Avengers movie,
Oh, you think?
or vice versa.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I rate this
Yeah.
probably a little higher than you. I give it like a 2.6. Because I thought some of the cast members were really strong.
Well, but I did. You know what? I'm gonna just blow your expectations and kick it up to a 2.8.
Oh my god! Okay.
There you go.
Well,
And
if it wasn't for those 4 cast members that I liked all of them, and I liked how they worked together, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Goonies for a minute there, for like a few
the
minutes.
Goonies.
Yeah, we're like the.
Oh yeah. No, you know, I have to say I didn't understand until later on why when she went back to her parents' house, she had to walk away.
Yeah. Well, I didn't understand that there was something at the beginning where the mother was like,
Right, I didn't get that at all.
I was totally
get it
lost.
at all.
So I like that. There was a little twist. I guess.
That was in. You see, that was an interesting hook, though.
Yeah.
I mean that whole thought process and
And that actress made it believable that she really didn't.
really, she did.
Yeah.
She did a great job. So
Yeah,
I'm going to say that. See, that's why I kind of like. I got this with I got it with the Hunger Games, but not so much the Hunger Games, but definitely in the Maze Runner, is that the 3 films that made up the Maze Runner, was it 3?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 3
I think
films.
so, yeah.
The 3 films that made up the Maze Runner, as the first and the second were obviously pieces. You know what I'm saying? They were obviously pieces of
a whole.
of a whole, and this one is also very obviously a piece of a whole. And
Well, you can't take a book generally and turn it into just one movie and tell the whole story.
right, exactly. No, I understand that, but at the same time, I don't even think that they had they didn't.
What book was this?
Don't be disappointed that this doesn't really have an ending.
Right.
It's
Well,
just,
it's obviously trying to go into a sequel, probably. You know how things work these days. And there's probably going to be a following for this movie, I bet. I bet
oh yeah,
there'll
no,
be, like-
absolutely. You know, if you saw Hunger Games, if you saw Maze Runner, you'll love this one.
So it's, yeah. Alexander Bracken. And are we going to blame Chad? I mean, so I have a
I
question
blame
for you.
Chad for everything.
So the screenwriter, Chad
Chad, yeah,
Hodge,
right,
he wrote the screenplay, but
right.
maybe he had it like perfectly right until like producers and all these other people got involved and changed it around. I mean, is that, do you know what I mean? Is that
Nobody has any respect for the writer.
right. So I'm saying maybe we were kind of talking about Chad on the way out,
Here's
but I was like, maybe he's not the problem. Maybe it's all the people that were involved with Chad.
Here's the thing that you have to think about.
Story time. Story time. It's story time with Mick. 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 Story time with Mick.
When somebody writes a movie, for instance, a movie, you have to consider this. Think of the written word and its dependence on your memory. Its dependence on your concept, your inner vision, right?
Right.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you a sentence. The house gets sucked into the side of the hill. Okay. That was straight off of the script for Poltergeist. Okay.
Right.
Now, the director went through and made an incredibly complicated sequence that went with that. But think of it this way. Think of every possible different way that it could have been done, how it could have looked. And the thing is that's all you had to go on was the house got sucked into the hill, and maybe it said it was day or night, and you had a certain amount of context. But even the context that you had in that was built by the director more than it was built by the script itself. So when you say, well, yeah, but it was written this way or it was written that way,
right.
Let me tell you something. We have a hell of a lot further to go. I mean, there's the production designers that are going to bring their concept in,
right?
And the costumers or working underneath the production designer, myself, for instance, is going to be prop guys, wardrobes, locations, sets, how the effects are going to look. You know, how big every one of those aspects is going to be, and then the director is going to decide how we're going to get there. If they drove there in a car, well, there's a pretty big difference between driving there in an armored truck,
right,
or a Fiat 500. See, I'm just saying that when they say that we don't respect the writers when we do a film, well, the thing is the writer's giving us a pretty limited blueprint for it. It's not like by the time you get to a certain extent that you get out there, you're talking to yourselves as a film crew. You're either talking to yourselves or you have to go back and grab the writer and pull him completely up to date with where you're at, and then have him help write you out of a situation.
Right.
But it is going in a different direction. I mean, it can't help but go in a different direction because there are so many different aspects that go beyond the written word.
Mm-hmm.
And it drives me nuts when people say, well, it wasn't like the book. Well, it wasn't like the book in your head is what it wasn't like.
Exactly.
I mean, that drives me crazy because a movie and a book are such
they're
vastly different things.
Well, a book, when you read a book, it's all you. It's like your brain. It's not
right.
It's not visual.
Right. But think of it this way. Think of how much it narrows it down if you read the book after you've seen the movie.
Totally.
You see? Yeah. I mean, that's
which never do that. If you can.
But then again, I'm just saying that's totally different head, man. Totally different head.
But it's amazing when you read a book and you see a movie and it's just like you pictured it.
Yeah, but it isn't going to be everybody.
No.
It's maybe there's I when I worked in New Zealand, right as I was leaving, New Line Cinema was starting to gear up to conceive of doing the Tolkien works down there, right?
Right.
And the production designer of those films actually worked for me as my art director in New Zealand. Now, there was a certain thing that I had a problem with him is I think that he actually did it. And with Tolkien, you had things really heavily conceived. I mean, Tolkien didn't.
Yeah, very kind of wordy.
Yeah, he was very wordy, and he didn't leave he narrowed parameters down. His writings were very, very explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I noticed is that I think that it came out looking almost too much like it was written. You know, it was a little bit too much to me. I thought that there should have been some places where he flew the freak flag and he didn't.
But he's such the writer is just so amazing that it's kind of hard to go against the grain, I guess.
Right, I guess it's because the descriptions are very tight. And the thing is, I think that is one film, one group of films that does come pretty close to the book, not because of the greatness of the film, but more because of the greatness of the book. Because the book has actually captured our imaginations and more fully formed them than many writers do.
Of course, you do have a good point, though, because, like, if Tim Burton does something
exactly.
and somebody else does the same movie, I think I'd prefer Tim Burton since it's so different.
Exactly. And I had that problem when I saw it, that I thought that there could have been a little bit more, I guess the phrase would be style. I mean, just a little bit more style.
Yeah.
You know, it was exactly like the book and never did Grant's freak flag fly.
And you guys didn't listen to the writers at all on Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
We were the writers, you dingbat.
So how's the book going, by the way?
We're actually, I'm waiting for the forward. I have somebody editing it right now.
Awesome.
Because I couldn't edit it. I got what Rachel Talalay is writing the forward. And when I got it, I had this kind of like problem because I got it and I looked and I was like, wow, this is so complimentary to me that I can't I can't edit. I can't edit it.
You're too close to it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't. The thing is there were some misspelled words, and because I know that she dashed it off, and she had a lot to do because she was going to direct Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like, I can't touch this. So I have a friend who was the editor of the calendar section for the LA Times for many, many years, and I gave it to her and said, "Here, you gotta like." Kind of look at this and make sure that it's complete and not let me see it, and then I can put it in its right place in the book. But graphically, what I have now is I now have a series of PDFs that are the book itself. All the pictures have just been locked today.
Oh, nice.
Now that the pictures are locked, we can do photo credits. And we're down to photo credits. I'll fit the forward in tomorrow, and then I have to write a short introduction, which is literally going to be pretty close to just read the damn book. And
I think that should be it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to be.
You want to know what's in here?
Just read the damn book. And I've got the thank you page done. You saw the thank you. We've had to redo the chapter numbers several times because I've eliminated chapters and thrown new chapters in. And
I know what that's like because I do that with our episodes sometimes. I'm like,
yeah. You know, it's funny. The reasons that you come up with as you're going along, and the thing is I'm dealing with Cass is doing my layout for me, right? And she's like so every 3 days I completely change the order of the chapters.
She's doing a good job.
She's like,
from what I've seen.
She is, yeah. She's knocking herself out on it, and she just spent hours and hours and hours, and of course, and I'm changing the order of things as we go along, and I'm proofreading and going back and adding. It's But the thing is we are drawing to a close within a couple of days here, and it will be printing next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, you've teased me with a few things here and there. And
Yeah.
I've seen a couple chapters. I'm like, oh my god, this looks really good. Such similar pictures.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't think that anybody's. It's rare that this many different voices from 30 years ago have been brought together. That is on such an unusual project.
And you have fans getting involved too. So you had like.
I have
amazing.
like three people, 3 or 4 people, a couple of kids and a couple of adult artists have done things. We even used something that a model maker built with the eye looking in, which was very funny into the box. Yeah. We also have a couple of really amazing pictures that have come in recently that were just so cool. Like one of them is a pile of arms. You know, for her when she breaks converts to the cockroach.
Right.
All the standby arms are just sitting on a table in back, and they're just piled. It's just a great picture. And then there's another picture that we salvaged and pulled together that's so cool. It's a picture of this chart that's the I don't know why they used it, because normally they use this thing that was called a day out of days, which is it was a device that they used for putting together films back then, which was a bunch of strips, and each strip was a shot.
Oh.
And you laid the shots, and then you could take the strips out and you'd move them around and move them in order and stuff.
Like putting a magazine together.
Right, exactly. But this is a board. There's a board with a piece of cardboard on it that's this big. And I don't know, but all the shots are laid out there, and it looks like maybe it was, and I don't remember it because I was either locked in my office or I was out on the set in deep shit. So there was no in between.
Right.
So this chart's just amazing to look at, because you're looking at in the original 30-day schedule, which I'm pretty sure was like actually about 6 days longer than that in the end.
Right. Yeah.
And you're looking at this 30-day schedule right there with all the multiple units and everybody telling what everybody's shot is, and it's cool. Yeah, it really is cool. I mean, I would want to read it.
Yeah, I think I could hear people lining up right now to get a copy.
Yeah. Well, one would hope.
And I think Ned's probably first in line.
Well, Ned, you're a good guy.
He is.
He is a good guy.
Except for he did send me that angry email one time, but I think he's recovered from it.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate Teen Wolf. Anyway.
Saturn 3 my ass. So, let's see. We've rated this.
Yes.
We told stories on the side and stuff like that, and we have other things to get to.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we have some shark movies still.
Woohoo!
We're leading up to the Meg, which may or may not be a fizzled explosion at the end.
It's not looking great.
But we have Jaws and Piranha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those were shockingly good. Actually, I thought Piranha was really good. It's kind of creepy.
So yes, stay tuned, people.
Stay tuned.
I had something smart to say, but I forgot what it was.
No.
Anyway, oh well.
But trust me,
that's enough.
Neither one of us ever has anything smart to say.
No.
Would we be here if we did?
This is Kurt Thomas along with Mick Strawn. Thank you for listening to the Dream Warrior Review. If you have any questions or just have feedback for our show, we welcome them at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com. Of course, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. As always, please follow us and tell your friends about us too.